Dear Simon and the All-Forgiving Collective, especially Matt, this comes from Dan, by the way. Thank you, Dan. After 20 years, it seems right to let go the burden of my guilt and throw myself at the mercy of your judgment. It was a recent confession I heard on your show, something to do with a music publication, which triggered my memory and brought back an overwhelming sensation of guilt and dishonesty. Now, as a fully grown adult and responsible parent, trying my hardest to instill good morals and virtues in my children, I need to clear my own slate in order that I, too, might be a good role model. My story dates back to late 1995 or possibly early 1996. I am 18. I am a first-year student at the University of Loughborough and a bit of a rocker. My days generally consisted of getting up for breakfast at lunchtime, not doing enough study, too much watching of Beavis and Butthead, and then thrashing out with some loud metal on my hi-fi. That's what I was doing all day. That's what we did in Loughborough. My room in Halls, however, was incredible. A mixture of scantily clad pictures of Pamela Anderson and Joe Guest and torn-out posters from Metal Hammer and Kerrang magazines. Now, I'm familiar with Kerrang. Do you subscribe to Metal Hammer?
Metal Hammer, yes, absolutely.
What kind of thing?
Those are two very good publications,
high-quality publications, very good. I guess, looking back, I was a good balance, says Dan, of popular and unpopular, and it was Kerrang magazine which was at the centre of my deception. At this time, they ran a regular competition called Face in the Crowd, where they would show a picture of some sweaty headbangers at a recent gig with a circle around someone's face. And that was obviously the face in the crowd. Then, if that person happened to be a reader, all they had to do was to send a photograph of themselves to win by post. Email was in its infancy back then, and digital photographs were the stuff of tomorrow's world. Yes.
That's a really good feature.
Well, absolutely. One particular issue of Kerrang, the face in the crowd individual, looked rather familiar. It was me. The only thing was, this picture was taken at a Lawnmower Death concert. What?
Oh, yes!
And how do you think you spelled death, by the way? Go on, then.
Well, not D-E-A-S?
No.
A-F?
What? No, it's obviously Lawnmower Death is spelled D-E-T-H. There's no A.
There's
no
no
umlaut.
There's no umlauts anywhere.
Definitely
but what
not
a
misspelt.
band.
No.
Anyway, it's Lawnmower Death, who I think come from the Nottinghamshire area. I don't know where it was. I wasn't there, to be honest, says Dan. Lawnmower Death was a bit beyond my taste. My taste was predominantly the big four, and that shouldn't need explaining, but Matt will explain anyway.
Slayer, Metallica, Anthrax and Megadeth.
But it looked as though I was at a Lawnmower Death concert. By the way, in case you're interested, have we found them? Yes, we have. Here we go with some Lawnmower Death.
Hang on, that's a cover.
They're doing Kids in America.
Yeah. Hey!
For the first time on Radio 2.
They're doing the backing vocals as well.
Anyway, so it's the mid-90s, and that was the face in the crowd at the Lawnmower Death concert, and it was clearly Dan, except that he wasn't actually there. That was not his kind of thing at all. I definitely wasn't there, says Dan. Well, I thought, if I think this guy could be me, then surely those at Kerrang will be convinced as well. So I scrounged around for a stamp, and I duly sent them a photograph of myself to Kerrang HQ. Some time passed, perhaps a few weeks, enough time for life to move on, and I forgot all about the competition. Then one day, a fellow student said there was a package that had arrived for me at the Students' Union. It was a massive cardboard box, the sort of thing you might use to move house, and it was absolutely stuffed full of goodies. It was a rock hamper.
Wow.
Now that is that's good marketing. I've just had an idea.
Yeah.
Rock hampers.
Yes.
Do you think? And you could just fill it full of rock. Pass that on to Dr. Bosch.
I'm not a hod carrier.
Yeah, very good. I'm not quite sure what the success rate of this competition was in terms of actually finding the face in the crowd. I'm guessing it was not that great because I had everything in this box. It was crammed full. I had 10 T-shirts, a dozen or so CDs, and a range of General Tap posters and merchandise. A lot of it with Lawnmower Death on. What a complete result. So 20 years have now passed and the T-shirts don't fit anymore, and it's becoming even harder to find something on which to play the CDs. So it's time to come clean. I don't feel the need to ask forgiveness from Kerrang. I followed their rules, and it was they who agreed that I looked most like the guy in the photograph. But to this day I have wondered if that Lawnmower Death fan had also entered the competition and that I was unjustly judged to be more of a likeness than he was to himself. So it's on his behalf that I ask you to grant me some forgiveness. Well, very good. OK, I don't think... there are phone calls being made even now to the assorted members of Lawnmower Death. I think we were just on radio... Get away, we're not going to be on Radio 2.
Radio 2.
They have moved on. Anyway, so... Sister Rebecca, what do you make of Dan's confession?
Well, the thing is, if he thought it was him, then he's right in guessing that the people at Kerrang would never have known that it wasn't him. But I guess the whole point is, as he said, that there may have been a genuine person who lost out as a result. But, you know, I doubt it very much, somehow. So I think... I don't think anyone else missed out. I do think he has already suffered because, as he said, he didn't even like Lawnmower Death and he got the T-shirt. So what was the point of that? So I'm going to forgive because it's funny.
Bobby will find a moral position to take.
Well, no, I think that Kerrang are the forerunners of upcycling. What they did is they were cleaning out the cupboard and they went, how can we get rid of this but not throw it into a dump or put it into landfill? So what we need to do is no one is really going to claim to be in the crowd of this crowd and this band. But let's just see. Let's just put it out there for a joke. And it's like a rock find Wally, of course. And there was probably one person, just Dan, that sent his picture in and just went, yeah, that's me. And they went, that's fine. Let's send him the stuff. He's the guy that claimed it. It's absolutely fine. And you're forgiven. You are forgiven.
By the way, Lawnmower Death are on at Rock City, which is in, I imagine this is in Nottingham, on the 19th of December.
Going.
Yeah, they're still going. And, says Neil in St Helens, if I recall, their lead singer is called Qualcast Rotivator. They really are hot on the lawnmower thing.
Wow.
OK, thank you, Neil. So, Brother Matt, what do you make of that?
I mean, obviously we should, first of all, stand and applaud the choice of title of band, Lawnmower Death. Who doesn't want to spend an evening with Lawnmower Death? No one. And but also, Bobby's quite right. Basically, all of this stuff was coming from the pluggers for Lawnmower Death, who had been flooding Kerrang offices with their T-shirts and posters and CDs, and so they were very happy to get it off their hands. So, frankly, Dan, well done. You know, because the pluggers for Lawnmower Death couldn't really get rid of that stuff quick enough. And what great news to hear that the band are back together and now touring the country.